Elara began planning her exit in silence. Not because she was afraid of Adrian hurting her, but because she was afraid of how easy it was becoming to stay. She counted the days, reviewed the contract again, memorized the clauses that promised her freedom. She reminded herself why she agreed in the first place. This was temporary. Yet the house no longer felt like a place she passed through. It felt lived in, familiar, dangerous. Adrian noticed the shift immediately. "You've been quiet," he said one evening. "I'm thinking," she replied. "About what?" "Life." He studied her. "Without me." Her chest tightened. "Yes." The word hung heavy. He didn't react, didn't argue, didn't raise his voice. That scared her more than anger. A week later, she made her move. "I want to end the contract early," Elara said calmly, sliding the folder across the table. Adrian didn't look at it. "You can't." She frowned. "I can, there's a clause." "I know the clause," he said, "and it requires 30 days' notice." "Then consider this my notice." He leaned back slowly. "That would be unwise." "Why?" "Because the media expects appearances for the next 6 weeks." "That's your problem. It becomes yours if you breach contract." Her jaw tightened. "You said I could walk away." "I said you could," he replied. "I didn't say it would be clean." The room felt smaller. "You planned this," she said quietly. "I planned for outcomes," he corrected. "You're trapping me." "No," Adrian said calmly. "I'm delaying you." "For what?" He hesitated. That hesitation told her everything. "Say it," she demanded. "I need time," he said finally. "For what?" "To fix this." She laughed bitterly. "You don't fix people by holding them hostage." "I'm not holding you hostage. You just told me I can't leave." "You can," he said evenly, "at a cost." Her voice shook. "You promised." "And I still intend to keep that promise," he replied. "Just not today." That night, Elara packed a bag anyway. She made it halfway down the stairs before Adrian appeared. "Where are you going?" he asked. "Out." "At midnight?" "Yes." "With who?" "That's none of your business." He stepped in front of her. "It becomes my business when you walk out like this." She glared at him. "Move." "No." Her heart pounded. "You don't get to stop me." "I'm not stopping you," he said softly. "I'm asking you not to go." "That's worse," she whispered. He reached out, then stopped himself. "Please," Adrian said quietly. The words stunned her. "Don't do this," he continued. "Not tonight." "Why?" she demanded. "What are you so afraid of?" His jaw tightened. "That you won't come back." She stared at him. "You don't trust me." "I don't trust myself," he admitted. The honesty cracked something open between them. "Adrian," she said softly, "this isn't love." "I know," he replied. "That's what scares me." She lowered the bag slowly. "Then let me go." "Not yet." Her eyes filled with tears. "You're hurting me." "I know," he said, "and I don't know how to stop." The silence that followed was unbearable. Finally, Elara walked past him, leaving the bag behind. She locked herself in her room and cried until morning. The next day, the contract changed. Not on paper. In behavior. Adrian became distant, polite, professional, cold. He stopped sitting beside her, stopped watching her eat, stopped asking questions. It felt like punishment. "You're avoiding me," she said after 3 days. "I'm respecting your boundaries," he replied. "That's not what this is." "What do you want it to be?" he asked. She didn't answer. The press grew louder, rumors spread, cameras followed her everywhere. One afternoon, overwhelmed, Elara broke down during an interview. Adrian ended it immediately. He took her hand, in front of everyone. She didn't pull away. Inside the car, she snapped. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes," he said, "I did." "Why?" Because you were shaking. Her voice broke. You're making this harder. I know. She turned to him, then stop. I can't. Why? Because, Adrian said quietly, letting you go feels like losing the only thing I didn't know I needed. Her breath caught. That's not fair, she whispered. No, he agreed. It is. That night, Elara realized the truth. She wasn't trapped by a contract. She was trapped by a man who didn't know how to love without holding on too tightly. And she didn't know how to leave without breaking both of them. Elara woke up to silence. The house felt different, too quiet, heavy, like the walls themselves were holding their breath. She didn't know what to do with herself. Breakfast was served, untouched. Adrian was already in the study, phone in hand, emails piling up. He didn't acknowledge her presence. She hesitated at the doorway. Good morning. He didn't look up. Morning. Her stomach twisted. Something was broken, or maybe everything had shifted. You're not talking to me, she finally said, breaking the silence. I'm thinking, he replied, flat, controlled, cold. You're punishing me, she accused. I'm not punishing you, he said. I'm protecting you from yourself. She laughed bitterly. Protecting me by making me miserable. Yes, he said quietly, because misery is what keeps people alive. She blinked. That's insane. No, he said, it's real. The tension between them was almost suffocating. That evening, she decided she couldn't handle it anymore. She was leaving, not forever, not permanently, but at least for a few hours, for sanity. I need to step out, she said, picking up her bag. He didn't respond immediately. Then he said quietly, You can go. Relief surged. Thank you. Be back before midnight, he added. His voice is calm, almost casual, but something in it made her pause. I'll be careful, she muttered. You always are, he said, but his tone lacked the earlier warmth. She left. The streets were alive with people, lights, and noise. She felt free for the first time in weeks, but the freedom was fragile, like a thin glass teetering in her hands. At a cafe, she ordered coffee, sat at a corner table, tried to read a book, tried to think, but every few minutes her phone buzzed. Are you safe? She looked at the message, from Adrian. Her fingers trembled. She wanted to ignore it, delete it, pretend she didn't care. She didn't. Yes, I'm fine. Almost immediately, another buzz. You don't sound fine. Her chest tightened. She set the phone down and walked outside, packing, heart racing, confusion swirling. By the time she returned home, Adrian was waiting. Not in the study, not behind a desk, but in the hallway, calm, watching, patient. You're late, he said softly. I went for coffee, she said, defensive. You should have taken the driver, he replied. I didn't want to, she said. Then you risked yourself, he said evenly. Risked myself, she shouted. Frustration boiling over. I'm not a child. No, he said quietly, but I care. Her anger faltered. That's not your job. It is now, he said, whether you like it or not. Something about the simplicity of that statement, the calm certainty, made her blood run cold. You're obsessed, she whispered. I'm attentive, he corrected, calm, precise, dangerous. She stepped back. That's the same thing. No, he said, it's the truth. She wanted to push past him, walk up the stairs, go to her room, escape the intensity that had become Adrian. But she froze. Because every instinct in her body told her she was exactly where she belonged. That night dinner was awkward, silent, heavy, and then Adrian finally spoke. You're trying to leave, he said quietly. I need air, she said, not meeting his eyes. Do you, he asked softly, or do you want to test me? Elara's heart stuttered. What do you mean? You're scared of staying, afraid of feeling something, he said, and you're scared of leaving because you'll miss it. Her breath caught. I'm not that easy to read. No, he said calmly, but I am. The words lingered longer than they should have. Later that night, as Elara tried to sleep, Adrian appeared at the doorway. "You can't hide from me," he said softly. "I'm not hiding," she whispered. "Yes, you are," he said, "and I don't intend to let you pretend otherwise." I don't want to fight," she said, trembling. "You're not fighting," he replied. "You're running." "I can't help it," she admitted. You make it hard." "That's my job," he said quietly. Her chest tightened. "Why?" "Because letting you go," he said, "would be the hardest thing I've ever done." Her eyes widened. "Adrian." "Don't," he said, holding up a hand. "I don't know how to love without possession, and I don't know how to possess it without losing you." Tears slipped down her cheeks. She whispered. "You can," he said softly. "You just have to trust me." For the first time since the contract began, Elara didn't argue. She simply stood there, trembling, heart-pounding, caught between fear and desire, control and surrender. And she realized the truth. She wasn't trapped by him. She was trapped by what she wanted, and what she feared she couldn't have. Elara woke to the sunlight spilling across her bed. She didn't move immediately. The events of the past weeks, days, nights, sleepless anxiety, stolen glances, tense conversations played over in her mind. She realized she was exhausted, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Adrian's footsteps echoed softly in the hallway. She didn't try to hide. She didn't want to. "Morning," he said, voice low, calm, but there was something different in the cadence. Vulnerability. "Morning," she whispered back. He sat at the edge of the bed, close enough that she could feel the warmth radiating from him. Not touching her, not forcing anything, just being there. "I can't keep pretending," she said, voice barely audible. I don't know how to do this anymore." "You don't have to pretend," he said quietly. "Not here, not with me." Her breath caught. "This isn't love, we both know that." "No," Adrian admitted. "It is, and that terrifies me more than anything." She looked at him, tears threatening to fall. "Then why can't I leave?" "Because I've never been able to stop thinking about you," he said. "Not for a day, not a night, and I can't stand the thought of letting you go without telling you the truth first." Her heart hammered in her chest. "Truth?" "Yes," he said. "Truth is I need you, not as a contract, not as a wife on paper. I need you because I've spent weeks trying to convince myself I didn't. I've tried to act like it doesn't matter, but it does." She swallowed hard. "You're saying this now." "I'm saying it because if I wait another day, you might leave without knowing, and I can't let that happen." Elara's hands shook. "Adrian." "SHH," he said, raising a hand gently. "Listen to me, you are free. The contract ends whenever you choose. But know this, leaving does mean I'll ever stop caring. And staying means you can decide for yourself what this really is." The room was heavy with tension, a silence that could shatter hearts. She whispered. "I don't know if I can trust myself." "You don't have to," he replied. "Just trust me, that's all I'm asking." Her chest tightened. "And if I stay, what does that mean?" "It means we take a risk," he said, eyes darkening with raw honesty. "A risk of loving someone when the world says we shouldn't, a risk of losing control, but also the risk of being happy." Tears slid down her cheeks. "I'm scared." "Good," he said softly. "Because that means you're alive, because that means you care, because that means you might love me." She looked at him then, really looked. Not the controlled billionaire everyone feared, not the calm, collected man of power, but Adrian. Fragile in ways he never admitted, honest in ways he never allowed himself to be before. Her lips trembled. I don't know if I'm ready." "I'll wait," he said immediately. "I'll wait as long as it takes, but you have to promise one thing." "What?" "Promise me that you'll decide for yourself. Not the contract, not my demands, not the fear. You." She nodded slowly. "I promise." Days passed. She tested herself. She left the house, returned late, challenged him, pushed boundaries. Each time, Adrian responded with patience, with honesty, with a presence that never overpowered but never released. Finally, one evening, as the city lights flickered below their penthouse, Elara made her choice. "I don't want to leave," she whispered. Adrian's dark eyes softened. "Then don't." "I want to try, with you," she admitted. His lips curved into the faintest smile. "Then we start from now. No contracts, no rules, just us." She reached for his hand. Tentative, testing, feeling, and he took it, holding her fingers gently, not possessively, not demanding, just holding. "I'm scared," she admitted. "I know," he said, "and that's okay, because we're scared together." That night, for the first time, there were no boundaries. No pretense, just honesty, just two hearts beating unevenly, uncertainly, but together. Elara realized something profound. Freedom wasn't leaving. Freedom was choosing. Choosing to stay, choosing to trust, choosing to risk everything for love. And Adrian realized something equally profound. Control didn't equal love. Trust did. Patience did. Vulnerability did. They didn't have it all figured out. They wouldn't. But at that moment, it didn't matter. They had each other. And that was everything. If you enjoyed this story and the emotional journey of Elara and Adrian, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more gripping billionaire romance stories, and comment below which part had you holding your breath the most. Your support keeps these stories alive. Thanks for watching.